We are now days away from being able to see the sorely awaited Hunger Games movie, which is released on the 23rd of March in at least the UK and the US. So while the Hunger Games excitement seethes and gushes inside all of us, I want to ask you a question. How would you survive the Hunger Games? In the trilogy, we see lots of different people approaching it in very varied ways. There's the most obvious path, which is exemplified by the career districts, and that of course is fighting your way through. Being the toughest, being the strongest, being the fastest. The idea we're given in the book is that these children are trained from the moment they're born, trained to win the Hunger Games. They vie with each other to be put forwards, they want to be there. It's such a different point of view to the one we see in District 12, it's very interesting. If we'd had a book written from the point of view of someone in District 1, 2 or 4, it would have been very interesting, a completely different story. Anyway, there's definitely an opportunity in the games to use brain rather than brawn. Haymitch won his games by cleverness. He figured out how to use the very arena against his opponents. This is also true of the unnamed, I think, boy from District 3, who rewires the landmines, although obviously his plan doesn't work out as well. Haymitch, working alongside Peter, continues to outsmart the game when it comes to the 74th Hunger Games. They manipulate the fact that the Hunger Games is a TV show with an audience. The reason that Katniss and Peter win is they exploit the fact that they are being watched. Much like Haymitch did all those years ago, they end up making the game fight itself. There is finally a stealth option, as you can see in Rue and Foxface. They are clever, they keep to the shadows, they keep out of the way. Rue has an in-depth knowledge of the terrain she's in. She works with the land and the plants and the animals. If perhaps she'd been more malicious, she could have worked against the other tributes. She could have purposefully left poison berries in their way. There's definitely an argument as to whether you could ever win doing these strategies though. We see pretty clearly in Catching Fire that you can't just bury your head in the sand. There are too many booby traps built into the arena. Even if the other tributes don't get you, the land eventually will. So what would you do? Would you be a Cato? A Rue? A Haymitch? Would you train forever and fight your way through? Would you try to outsmart them all? Or would you hide in the shadows and hope all the other tributes just killed each other? I don't think I could do any of these. I am definitely not a fit fighting person. Any fight from me would involve a lot of falling down and then dying. As to working with the local terrain, I am a Londoner born and bred, so unless my arena involved a complex underground system of trains, I would be pretty screwed. No, I think my way of winning the Hunger Games would be by talking. There was a lot of time before the games began, a lot of time while the tributes were training with one another, eating with one another, while they were generally living in the capital. I would try and talk to as many other tributes as I could. I would find out their motivations, I would find out how their brains work. I would try and persuade them to join me. And by join me, I mean in a suicide pact. Yes, it sounds strange, and it would probably make for a very, very dull book. But to me, it would be the only real way to win the Hunger Games. Persuading everyone to step off the platform early and take their own lives. Simply enough, I know I couldn't win the Hunger Games. I'm not strong enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not cunning enough. But there's a part of me that thinks that even if I did manage to become quite handy with a bow, and figure out which berries were going to kill me if I ate them, if I attacked my fellow tributes, I would be losing. I would have lost myself to the capital the moment they forced me to play their game. I would not kill for them, nor would I be killed for them. I would prove to them that they did not have control over me. I would take my own life, in my own way. My winning would be depriving them of their sport, and trying to persuade everyone else to do the same. Anyway, your answers don't have to be as morbid as mine. I would honestly love to hear, how would you survive the Hunger Games? Do you see yourself as a Foxface, as a Rue, as a Katniss? Post down below and we can have a chat about it. Anyway, really looking forward to the Hunger Games movie. I will definitely put up a video when I've seen it, as I expect all you to as well. Bye guys, see you tomorrow.